Hello, welcome to GTech Techno Solution Private Limited. Today we are going to discuss about the important interview questions in operating system. Let us see our first question. What is meant by an operating system? An operating system is a program that acts as an intermediary between the user and the computer hardware. The purpose of an operating system, or abbreviated as OS, is to provide a convenient environment in which the user can execute his programs in a convenient and an efficient manner. These type of questions are basically highlighted in Wipro HCL Technologies in interviews. Let us move on to our next question. What are the different operating systems? Our operating systems are batched operating systems, real-time operating systems, time-sharing operating systems, distributed operating systems, and multi-programmed operating systems. So these are the different types of operating systems. Let us see our next question. What are the basic functions of an operating system? An operating system controls and coordinates the use of hardware among the various application programs for various users. Operating system acts as a resource allocator and manager. Also, operating system is a control program and which controls the user programs and to prevent errors. It majorly allocates resources, monitors the activities of other programs, and manages the disk and files. So that will become the basic functions of operating system. Let us see our next question. What is a kernel? A kernel is nothing but the core and the essential part of a computer operating system, and it provides the basic services for all parts of the OS. So that will be the essential part of the operating system, as you can see. These questions are highlighted in Tech Mahindra and TCS interviews. Let us move on to our next question. What is deadlock? Deadlock is a situation or a condition where the two processes which are waiting for each other to complete so that they can start. This results both the process to hang. If you see, your thread A is waiting for the mutex1 and your thread B is waiting for mutex2, whereas your mutex1 can be completed only after thread B is completed, whereas your mutex2 will be completed only after thread A is completed. So this results to a deadlock. Let us see our next question. What is a process? A program in execution is called as process. Processes are of two types: operating system processes and user processes. These type of questions are highlighted in interviews of Infosys and Polaris. Our next question is, what are the states of a process? The states of process include the following: new, ready, running, waiting, and terminated. So these are the states of a process. Initially, after a process is created, it will be in the new state. After it is admitted, it will go to the ready state, followed by your running state. If it is interrupted in between, then it goes to the ready state back. Else, if there is an IO request in between, then it will go to the waiting state. After the IO is completed, it comes back to the ready and running. Once your process is finished, then it exits to terminated state. So these are the states of a process. These questions are highlighted in interviews of Wipro, HCL and Technologies. Our next question is, what is starvation and aging? Starvation is resource management problem where a process does not get the resources it needs for a long time because the resources are being allocated to other processes. Aging is a technique to avoid starvation in a scheduling system. So to avoid starvation, the scheduling is done, that is known as aging. Let us see our next question. What is semaphore? Semaphore is a variable whose status reports a common resource. Semaphore is of two types: binary semaphore and counting semaphore. These pattern of questions are highlighted in interviews of Wipro and HCL Technologies. Our next question is, what is context switching? Context switching is nothing but transferring the control of one process to other process requires saving the state of the old process, and you have to load the saved state for a new process. So this task is known as context switching. Our next question is, what is a thread? A thread is nothing but a program line under execution. Thread sometimes is called as lightweight process, and the basic unit of CPU utilization can be done using a thread. It comprises of a thread ID, a program counter to keep in track of the instruction that it has done, a register set to store, and a stack. So these become the elements of a thread, that how a thread is made up of. Let us see our next question. What is process synchronization? It is a situation where several processes access and manipulate the same data concurrently, and the outcome of the execution depends on particular order in which the access takes place. So this is known as race condition. To guard against the race condition, we need to ensure that only one process at a time can be manipulated with the same data. So to ensure that only one process is manipulating the data at the same time, we use the process called process synchronization, and this technique is deployed to guard against race condition. Let us move on to our next question. What is virtual memory? Virtual memory is nothing but a hardware technique where the system appears to have more memory than it actually does. So this is done by time sharing. The physical memory and the storage parts of the memory are time shared when they are not actively being used.